We're all ready for you guys to start.
All right,
All right.
you start.
Have you ready?
Yep. Let me just position myself. Welcome to Wumbo Sportsology Sports Talk Show, and we're back with another segment of our free agent signings. Today, right now, we're going to be doing the most underrated signing, and I think it's wide receiver Allen Robinson of the now Chicago Bears.
I believe it's Tyrann Mathieu, in my opinion. He was the best defensive player 2 years ago before suffering an awful injury. And he went over to Houston because he had potential with Deshaun Watson. But, of course, because of his injury, he didn't show much with him this year.
With Allen Robinson, he just tore his ACL this season. You could argue that he's also the most impactful signing because Mitchell Trubisky is a second-year quarterback on the Bears roster who had no wide receivers on the team. You could argue Kendall Wright, but he really didn't do that well. But Trubisky finally is getting someone who he can actually throw the ball to. Him and Trey Burton, who's a young and up-and-coming tight end. Allen Robinson 2 years ago was one of the best wide receivers with 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns. And no one's really been talking about him because of the injury he suffered early in the first game of this season.
Well, I think Tyrann Mathieu is going to be the most underrated next season because of Deshaun Watson coming back. He's going to have potential with Jay Clowney and J.J. Watt, and they're going to have a pretty good offense and defense next year.
Yeah, but with Tyrann Mathieu, he hasn't really been the same player since his injury. But it is the most underrated. It's not the most impactful. So I can see because they're both Allen Robinson and Tyrann Mathieu have both been kind of injury prone throughout their past 2 years. But that's why they're not being talked about. So either way, I still think it's Allen Robinson because he's just a better player.
I just see more potential in Mathieu just because he has two very, very, very good defensive players on his side.
So they can kind of bail him out.
Yeah.
But Trubisky, he was just drafted second overall last year. He had an all right rookie season for someone who had no wide receivers and an awful coach.
True.
Or tight end. And now Allen Robinson is really, when he's healthy, one of the best receivers in the game. He's tall, he's strong, he's fast, he's just very good hands. He's just a great talent. And him and Trey Burton, who's unproven, but he has a lot of potential because last season behind Zach Ertz, he did pretty good in the games he got chances. But they just didn't really need him because Zach Ertz is one of the top 3 tight ends in the league. But Trubisky is a good quarterback. He only started 13 games college, but he started almost every game last season before Mike Glennon started playing awful. Well, he was playing awful the whole year when he played, but they realized that they should just give Trubisky a shot. And so Allen Robinson, like I said, he tore his ACL in the first game. No one has any expectations for him, really, even though just 2 years ago he was an elite receiver. So I think he's underrated because no one's talking about him right now because of his injury, and he's going to destroy cornerbacks this year and for the next 2 years to come after that. And I think Trubisky is going to be a much better player because of him. And you could also argue that Allen Robinson is the most underrated free agency signing in the past 3 years.
All right. Well, this has been our NFL underrated signings, and we'll be right back. Good?
Yeah, we're good.
I legit didn't know what to talk about. You just kept going off on him, and I'm like, well, yeah.